25th is the date set for the celebration of the birth of Jesus. This is a time of joy, celebrated with carols, special liturgies, brightly wrapped gifts, and festive foods, to name a few. But it has been apparent to many that December the 25th is not Jesus' actual birth date. For instance, there is no date set in the New Testament for the nativity of Jesus. And there is no mention of the birth of Jesus being celebrated at all throughout the entire New Testament. In fact, no historical evidence exists for the date of Jesus' birth until 200 years after his death. That doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong to choose to celebrate Jesus' birth on December the 25th if we want to. It just means it was in all likelihood not on that date. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% sure Jesus was not born on December the 25th. For example, Luke chapter 2 verse 8 tells us that during the night of Jesus' birth, shepherds were watching over their flock in the field. Late December in the winter is a rather cold and rainy time of the year in Bethlehem, so it is highly unlikely that Jesus' birth took place at that time, because shepherds prefer to keep their flocks in the stable when it's cold and rainy. Even prominent Christians of the 2nd century estimated the date of Jesus' birth to be no later than April the 21st, according to this excerpt from an online article by Bible History Daily. Continuing on, it says, by the 4th century, however, we find references to two dates that were widely recognized and now also celebrated as Jesus' birthday: December the 25th in the Western Roman Empire and January 6th in the East, especially in Egypt and Asia Minor. The modern Armenian Church continues to celebrate Christmas on January the 6th. For most Christians, however, December the 25th would prevail, while January the 6th eventually came to be known as the Feast of the Epiphany, commemorating the arrival of the Magi in Bethlehem. That leads to our next question. What happened between the 2nd and the 4th century AD which led the church to celebrate the Nativity on December the 25th? During the 4th century, the Church of Rome was growing and Christianity became the state religion. However, prior to this, paganism ruled the land, and December the 25th was an important date in the pagan calendar. It was the birthday of the sun god. The Romans called this holiday Natalis Solis Invicti, which in English translates to Birth of the Unconquerable Sun. The first time this day was celebrated as the birthday of Jesus Christ was in 336 AD. So why did the Church of Rome adopt this pagan date? They did it because there were a lot of pagans coming into the church, and the church believed that compromising with their practices would make them feel more at home in the church. It would give them something they were comfortable and familiar with in their newfound religion. So the pagan celebration of the sun god became the Christian celebration of the Son of God. That is where the date December the 25th came from. Now, as I said before, just because this date has pagan origins doesn't necessarily mean we can't celebrate the birth of Jesus on it, as long as you do it with the right focus, keeping your celebration focused on Jesus Christ. If we choose to celebrate the birth of Jesus, it really doesn't matter what day we do it on, since no one really knows the exact date. And the Bible doesn't say we can't celebrate the nativity of Jesus. There is no condemnation against that. Also, there's nothing wrong with choosing not to celebrate Jesus' birthday. This really just comes down to a matter of personal conviction. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow this series, please subscribe to my channel.